So today I'm going to talk about a watch from Anonimo. Just to tell you a little bit about Anonimo, they were founded in 1997 in Florence, unusually. The brand today is actually based in Switzerland, and it's based in Le Loch, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It actually is right next to Le Chaux de Fonds, and the two places are both World Heritage Sites. And they were actually given over for watchmaking a long time ago, so much so that Karl Marx actually visited Le Chaux de Fonds and that area to look at the division of labour for when he wrote Das Kapital. So they're in Le Loch, and that makes a lot of sense because you have a lot of suppliers in that vicinity who can supply with various components. But the styling is still very much inspired by Italy. The watch I've been wearing is this one. I've worn a few Anonimo watches before. This is part of the Nautilo collection. It's a vintage, a Nautilo vintage one. It has a blue Sunray dial. The dial colour it's unusual because it doesn't, and I have a thing about dial colours, but it's not just a straight blue. It plays with light. The Sunray motif encourages light to play with the dial surface. And sometimes it's like a very pale turquoise, a pale blue, and then it's got a slight greeny or yellowy cast. So it does change a lot in the light. I find that endearing. It might not be to everybody's taste, but I think it's lovely. In terms of the colour, it is slightly retro. It feels from a bygone era, but actually, again, I find that quite attractive. It's presented in a 42mm stainless steel case. It's got an understated feel, this watch. So what they've done is they've not polished everything. There's actually like a crown protector on the side of the case here, and we'll show you close-ups in a short while. But what they've done is they've just put a slightly polished bevel on one side and also on the reverse. The case back, which is also an exhibition case back, is also highly polished. But apart from that, it's a very, very fine satin brush or satin finish, very understated. Again, I like it. It comes with this calf strap in this perennial leather, and even things like the pin buckle. I don't know if you can see that, it's got like a square into it, so it engages very, very positively with the square holes here, rather than a circular hole. And so what you find is that the holes don't enlarge as readily. It's small details, but it's very nice. I don't know, you've got the Anonimo logo on here. You feel it feels good. And I talk about the feel of it because it is quite modestly, well, it's very modestly priced. It's just under £2,000 in my home nation, in the United Kingdom. So it's a lot of watch. It's very simple to display. It's hours, minutes, central seconds, and a date. If I had one criticism, it would be that when you lie under the quilt covers at night with the quilt over your head, like you do, if you actually look at the watch, the luminescence of the hands could be a bit stronger, and also the indexes. They don't really shout at you, but it's a small thing. And yet at the end of the day, overall, the watch is very, very good, very impressive. I like this idiosyncratic positioning of the crown. It's positioned at 4 o'clock. It has like a crown protector above it, but nothing below. I don't know why, but it works. Aesthetically, it works. It's a bit stylish. In terms of practicality, it's easy to manipulate. And what I do like is it doesn't actually impinge on the movement of the wrist, and it doesn't chafe or rub the skin. I can think, and I won't mention the name of it, but I can think of a watch I used to have with a huge crown. And it was a little bit like, sometimes some ladies wear high heel shoes and they look fantastic in them probably, but they're in pain. And it was like that. I used to wear this watch and I was in agony with it. And in the end, I sold it. I just couldn't stand it any longer. This is very, very comfortable. You don't have that problem. It also, when you're wearing the watch, it's got a flat underside to the case back, but it sits very close to the skin. It's not spacing off. It actually feels very snug. It's got this bezel. Again, this just details it. It's all about the details on a watch. But if you look at this bezel, it's got a ceramic inlay. And this has been seen as, as being superior to aluminium, and in the main I would agree with that, because what it does is it doesn't fade as readily or age as readily as an aluminium dial. You're seeing it now on the high-end Rolex watches, and models from people like Omega, watches at a far higher price point than this, and it's actually here on a watch less than £2,000. The movement, from the outset, Anonimo always used ETA movements. Sometimes there's an issue with supply, and so there's another company, Solita, who make equally good movements. They're generically identical, as near as damn it. The big difference is that if you look at a Solita movement and its counterpart from ETA, the Solita generally has one more jewel. So this is an SW201. It has 26 jewels, the ETA equivalent has 25, but it's not a lot in it, to be honest with you. In terms of decoration, you've got Cote de Genève on there, you've got some perlage going on. It just has a nice feel to it. It feels quality, and what I try and do is look at watches that are not just too obvious. So if I go to a Rolls-Royce garage, I'm probably not going to be disappointed with the quality of the car. But no, we can't all afford Rolls-Royces. It's the same when it comes to watches. You can go to the usual suspects and spend a lot of money, but what I'm looking for is a great watch for the price, and this is a great watch for the price. Certainly, Anonimo, are doing very well at the moment in terms of what they're producing, and again, it's a brand I will return to it because I'm not disappointed. I like what they're doing. I think they're an impressive company.